Terima kasih sudah hadir kembali dalam acara siang hari ini, yaitu bersama Produk Ondulit by Catalogpro. Dan seperti yang Bapak Ibu lihat di layar monitor Bapak Ibu masing-masing, kali ini produk yang kita akan bahas yaitu Ondulit Italiana.
Seperti yang sudah Mbak Ziza sampaikan tadi, hari ini kita akan membahas salah satu produk dari Ondulit. Nah, Ondulit ini adalah atom metal dari Italia, Bapak Ibu dan teman-teman sekalian. Dan seperti biasa di sesi Produk Ondulit kita selalu kehadiran profesional reviewer yang kita undang. Dan hari ini kita mengundang kembali Mas Reza Gautama dari GOOW Arsitek. Selamat siang Mas Reza.
Halo, siang Mas Bayu.
Oke, terima kasih sudah selalu membantu kita menjadi profesional reviewer Mas Reza.
Sama-sama Mas.
Dan juga seperti tadi saya sampaikan bahwa Ondulit ini adalah salah satu produk dari Italia. Dan kita akan kali ini kita akan menjalankan sesi talkshow ini dengan dua bahasa, teman-teman dan Bapak Ibu sekalian. Tapi saya akan membantu untuk mungkin menjelaskan dan mungkin memberikan translate kurang lebihnya tentang Ondulit ini. Dan I would like to introduce our friends and principal from Ondulit. This is Valerio from Ondulit. Hello, Valerio.
Hello, thank you for having me here.
Oke, thank you. Dan juga di sini Valerio tidak sendiri. Di sini juga ada Bu Kristi. Beliau adalah partner Ondulit dari Catalogpro ya, Bu Kristi ya.
Iya benar.
Yang jadi Ondulit ini kalau ingin didapatkan bisa langsung menghubungi Bu Kristi dan teman-teman Catalogpro seperti itu. Terima kasih Bu Kristi sudah hadir. Okay, let we start the talk show, Valerio.
Sure.
And then you can introduce yourself and the Ondulit to the participants, and maybe you can start to share about Ondulit to the participants, please.
Absolutely. First of all, okay, again, thank you so much for having us here. Thanks to Catalogpro, it's a pleasure and an honor to introduce myself and the company I represent. My name is Valerio. I am the export manager of Ondulit Italiana, so I am the person in charge of the whole Asian market, specifically of Indonesia. In Indonesia, we are cooperating with the Catalogpro group, so with my partner, which is Christy here joining the meeting. I will just go to the summary of this, I hope, a quick presentation, where I give you a very quick company introduction. Then I will show you how the multi-layer, which is our main product. So the main product of Ondulit, it's a multi-layer sheet. I will explain you exactly what it is. Then we analyze the main features of our product, like the corrosion resistance, thermal and acoustic comfort. And then we see some certification, of course, that we present. Then we have a quick stop because clearly I would just have the meeting in English, but then there is Christy for if the audience want to have some question about what we discussed, we can definitely talk. And then we have a quick recap of the main characteristic and see a couple of other features. We see the range of products, so the profile and the different product that we present, some notes about installation, and finally some consideration about technical installation and price. So I'll go straight to the company introduction. Oh, sorry. Ondulit, it's a company that has been founded in 1953. So there are 70 years, more than 70 years that we are on the market. We start in Italy, clearly, in close to Rome, in Cisterna di Latina, which is a city very close to Rome, our factory. Then during the year, we deliver basically manage our first agency in Italy, and a few years later our first agency abroad, and then we introduce several new products. Covering 850, which you see there, it's our first trapezoidal profile. Then we had the first sandwich panel, because we also produce a sandwich panel made with the same technology, which I will explain, and so on, up to this year, 2024, where we introduced our standing system, which is our own profile of standing seam. So just in brief, the company, as I said, we are 70 years on the market. We served around 30 countries all over the world, and our product have up to 30 years of warranty. So this is just very summarizing our number, but let's see how it's made our main product, the multi-layer sheets. Multi-layer sheets, it's a metal sheet designed for roofing, even for cladding, but let's say mainly for roofing, made of different material. In total, there are 5 layers of material. The first one, which is the inner part of our sheet, is made by galvanized steel. the mechanical property of the sheet, so how he behave on the building are the mechanical property of the steel. The steel have different thickness according to the project, of course, requirement. And it is that one who determine the, again, mechanical property. Then we have, on the upper side of the steel, a thick layer of plastic compound, which is about 1.5 millimeters of bituminous plastic compound. The function of this compound is having protect. So basically, it totally insulates the steel from many external agents. So it gives you characteristic of resistance to corrosion and soundproofing. On the upper layer, which is what you see of the roof, we have a foil, an aluminum foil, embossed aluminum, painted with polyester protected painting. The aluminum is characterized by a very high solar reflectancy and a thermal emittance. I will come back later on this point. On the below the sheet, so below the steel, you can find a primer made of the same material of the plastic compound, but just more thin. And below, another aluminum foil, which has a low, characterized by a low emissivity into internal part of the building. So altogether, why we have this system? Because in 2 millimeters you have basically a system where it works well. It works very well in all the environment which are characterized by highly corrosion, like all the structure near to the sea, like ports, warehouses, shipyards, or any kind of building which is close to the sea. All the kind of production which involves gas, oil, and all the factories related to, for example, agricultural, zootechnical, cow shit, for example, plants. So all the building where the metal sheets are very stressed by external corrosion or internal even. How we measure the durability? We have several tests. Of course, let's say the most popular one we can say in Italy is the salt spray fog test, which basically tests the durability of the sheet in marine atmosphere. It's the test is simple, let's say. So we take the sheets of material, we cut it, we put into a chamber together with a solution of 5% of sodium chloride, and then we see how the steel reacts to this salt spray. After 4,000 hours, which are more or less equivalent to 30 years of lifespan, we see that there's no corrosion into the steel. This happened because the steel, again, does not come in contact with external external corrosive agents. Then, other very important feature is related to the thermal comfort of the sheet. So where in all the environment where the thermal comfort improves the quality of life of people below the building. Here you see sporting facility, resort, housing, but it works also, of course, for example, factories when you have people working and living so below the structure, below the roof. Talking about thermal comfort, it's quite complex. I will just analyze the few aspects. The first one is related to the upper layer. So this is a feature of the aluminum, which is the solar reflectance index, the SRI, which is basically the parameter that say how what is the part of the sun radiation who hit the roof to be reflected. All our color or all our finishing, this is painting of aluminum basically, are certified more than 30%, even for the darker color, for the slate gray, which is a very dark color, all are certified more than 30%. So we have a very high solar reflectance index, but it works as a system, as I said. So the painting are certified cool roof. Cool roof is a certification born in America in the 80s, that basically it's a composition of the SRI, so the solar reflectance index, and the emittance. So emittance is the ability, how much heat it's absorbed but then released into the air. All the finishing are certified as cool roof. Then we have the plastic compound, which has a very high thermal inertia. The inertia is the capacity, is the characteristic of a material to change its temperature according to external temperature. So the plastic compound is very stable, it doesn't change temperature. So this means that it blocks the heating going inside. The part of it that goes inside found the aluminum in the interior part, which is a low emittance. So the amount of heat which is released inside the building is very, very low. If we test, clearly we test, and we can say, because we demonstrate that in 2 millimeters of multi-layer sheet, you have the same thermal comfort of 40 millimeters of polyurethane, which means more than 7 to 8 degrees less than a standard steel sheet without insulation. And the transmittance of 0.54 watt per square meter Kelvin, which is exactly the same transmittance, thermal transmittance of 40 millimeters of polyurethane.
Okay.
So,
Valerio,
sure.
I must to interrupt your presentations. I'm just curious about this products from Ondulit. Since we know Ondulit is a product from Italy, which have 4 seasons in Italy, and
Sure.
Indonesia just have 2 seasons, raining and dry. And we have quite many hits in Indonesia, and so does this product already have understands about the season in Indonesia? Because
Sure.
we have since we know Indonesia have so many islands and so many structure from the raining seasons, and we have quite high acid in the water from the raining.
Yep.
How about that from Ondulit?
Absolutely. Let me say that recently also Italy is becoming more tropical, but it's a product that it works, it gives its best in tropical environment. Of course, it's popular in Italy because we born 70 years ago, so it's very popular, but it's a product that performs very well in hot and humid climate.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's not a product suitable for very cold climate. This is why we don't have markets in cold places. In Northern Europe, for example, it's not our market, we are not there. We have a lot of experience in tropical countries. So we work in Central America, we work in Asia, we have some references. Where it's hot, humid, and rain a lot, it's where the product gives its best characteristics.
Okay, and as your presentations in Ondulit have like insulations, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about the acoustical point in the Ondulit, Valerio?
Sure. Here we are.
Okay, please.
No problem. The other very important characteristics, as you said, is the acoustic behavior, so the soundproofing of the sheets. This is very important, of course, in all the. Again, here you see some example like using club, stadium, airport, but all the building in where there is activity below, like example warehouses where there are people working or factory, also benefits a lot about this. To give you an idea, the soundproofing of the sheets is comparable. If you take the Ondulit as one, we are 8 times less loud than aluminum and more than almost 5 times less loud than steel. This makes a huge difference when you are below roof. It means that under heavy rain or hail, like what happened in Indonesia or in Italy, I have to say recently, it makes the difference in working. You can talk to other people without having the loudness of the drumming effects of the rain drop in. And also, it's not just the soundproofing, you have the insulation from internal sound, which clearly is not comparable to an insulated, for example, a false ceiling or an insulated panel. But if you compare to other metal, it's much higher. We have 28 decibel of sound deadening, which is quite a lot. I will just stop on certification. Clearly, the company have all the, let's say, certification which are related to quality standard for management, environment, and production. We do also have the main certification in most of them, in basically all the market we work, like the MAC, which is a Chinese certification, the Miami-Dade County, which is the US certification for tropical storm. We have the CSTB, which is a French certification. We work a lot in all the French countries overseas, like Guyana, Réunion, all the tropical countries related to France, and all the European certification. I will have here is where I just say, okay, let's stop a moment because I said a lot of things related to the product. If there are some questions in maybe you want to translate, Christy can help me. So if the audience has any question, we can just discuss, and then I'll go for the second part of the presentation.
Yeah, I want to ask you something, Valerio, about the color.
Sure.
Yeah. So how many color do you have in Ondulit? There's
Absolutely. I just go very quick below. We have, this is, let's say, the basic range. This is the basic range. So these are the colors that we keep as stock and are available. Clearly, there is the possibility to have even custom color. It's all related to the timing, basically. So how quick the customers need the product and the size of the project. Clearly in Indonesia, this is not the stock we keep in Indonesia. This is the stock we keep in Italy. In Indonesia, we are cooperating with Catalogpro. They are keeping at the moment a much smaller stock, so the main color that works more. But if there is a project that need, let's say, for the right quantity, we can provide any color the customer needs.
Okay. So the color will affect its performance or the lifespan?
Lifespan, no. So the color, let's say, what we always say that our warranty, which I will talk later, is 30 years of the product. It's always related to the impermeability. So we ensure that for 30 years there will be no leakage inside. And clearly this is not affected by color. What the performances of colors change in terms of thermal comfort, clearly, because natural aluminum is the best in terms of reflectancy. So if the customer had, let's say, a concern about the temperature inside, we always suggest to go with light color like natural aluminum, white, light gray. These are the colors which perform best. But clearly also dark color are certified to be cool roof.
Okay.
Okay, maybe I will asking about the questions, Valerio. When we talk about the metal roof, we will usually talk about the sloping of the roof.
Yeah.
So your advice from Ondulit is that have a maximum slope can be how many degrees when maximum slope Ondulit can use in the top of our projects.
Sure. Consider the metal sheets behave as a standard pierced metal sheet, which means that we have minimum 5% of slope when there is overlapping, clearly. I'm talking about overlapping because the sheets that are produced in Italy at the moment we will import as a full length sheet. Clearly we can adjust according to customer project. But for example, if you have a slope of a very big slope, like 20 meter, 30 meter of slope, we need to do overlapping. And 5 degrees is the minimum in order to have this overlapping. There's no maximum, basically, but the minimum is 5 degrees.
And then I see the last your slide presentations, Ondulit already have projects like airport or like
Yes.
housing. And actually for the architects, we have so like if there's our roofing is have unique profilings.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah, Mas Reza, yeah.
Yeah.
So, it is the Ondulit can be like bending, and how is degrees if we want to bend or have a customized shape for the Ondulit.
Sure. I will show you later some example. Clearly, yes, the sheets can be bent. According to profile, the sheets can have or a natural bending. So if the curve radius is not too big, it can have natural bending on site. If the requirements are different, we have to bend it, to pre-bend it. Let's say we just work on the sheets in order to be bent on factory, and then we shape it. Each profile has its own characteristics, so it changes according to the type of profile. But yes, absolutely can be bent, both convex or concave is the same.
Okay. I will asking to Bu Christy juga. mungkin Bu Kristi juga bisa bantu nih Bu. Nah misalnya kalau ada permintaan custom seperti itu Bu gitu. Nah itu biasanya memang apakah dari Catalogpro sudah menyediakan varian-varian yang seperti itu gitu ya, atau mungkin yang saat ini sudah tersedia di Catalogpro gitu yang bisa sudah disuplai, itu tipenya yang seperti apa sih Bu?
Oke, terima kasih ya Mas Bayu. Untuk yang saat ini tersedia di kami itu hanya terdiri dari 3 warna, natural, aluminium, putih, dan abu-abu. Dan semuanya masih berbentuk lembaran sheet ya, sepanjang 11,8. Dengan konteks karena itu maksimal yang bisa saya bawa dari Italia itu sepanjang 11,8. Jadi kalau ada permintaan yang membutuhkan bentuk-bentuk khusus, itu pasti akan saya provide-nya dari Italia. Dan ya itu nanti juga consider juga dengan masalah size-nya. Karena kalau nanti bendingnya dengan radiusnya terlalu besar dan melebihi 11,8 kan otomatis kan ongkos bawanya juga lumayan ya.
Iya.
Itu masih bisa terbawa, tapi kita ada permasalahan di masalah transportasi ya. Jadi untuk bentuk-bentuk melengkung ya, kita kalau ngomong radiusnya mungkin lebar, itu masih memungkinkan untuk terjadi bending di lapangan.
Oke.
Jadi ini kan bukan produk yang seperti spandek, bukan seperti produk lip lock ya. Kalau kita ngomong produk lip lock itu kan dia nggak bisa overlappingnya nyambung, harus lurus terus gitu. Nah, kalau ini kan memungkinkan untuk kita tuh overlappingnya tuh nyambung. Kebayang ya maksud saya ya? Nyambung atas bawah ya, bukan nyambung kanan kiri ya. Kalau produk lip lock itu kita nggak mungkin bisa masang itu misalnya 15 meter terus kita bagi 5 meteran 3 itu nggak bisa kalau lip lock. Tapi kalau ini memungkinkan terjadi seperti itu. Jadi apabila kita misalnya ada bentuk atap yang misalnya secara diameter misalnya 5 meter gitu, terus sedikit melengkung, kita masih bisa melakukan proses bending di lapangan. Misalnya kita bagi 3 terus kita mengikuti rangkanya, itu masih bisa memungkinkan terjadi seperti itu.
Oke, berarti ini sebetulnya treatment-nya juga sama seperti yang ada di lokal gitu ya Bu? Berarti
Sama.
misalnya aplikator-aplikator yang ada di Indonesia juga sebetulnya sudah bisa menerapkan permintaan misalnya yang di site ya, dari Catalogpro or from Ondulit, when we have a request your products gitu, so you just send like lembaran dengan ukuran yang sudah ditentukan seperti itu ya Bu? Tapi kalau untuk ada akhirnya on the side, we have requirement to the custom shape. The aplikator bisa untuk membantu untuk membentuk bentukan seperti yang kita mau, kurang lebih kayak gitu ya.
Ya, selama bentuknya itu tidak ekstrim ya, itu masih bisa dibentuk di lapangan. Jadi secara pemasangan ini juga seperti spandek-spandek yang lain, tidak berbeda kok. Hanya mungkin kita tetap ya yang spandek lain juga sama kan, harus ada overlapping kan. Nah, di sini kita juga harus ada overlapping sekitar 15 cm, normal sih 2 gunungan itu normal ya menurut saya ya.
Oke, baik. Jadi seperti itu teman-teman dan Bapak Ibu sekalian. Jadi memang walaupun ini Ondulit langsung pure diimport dari Italia gitu, tapi karena di sini Bu Kristi sudah menjadi partner Ondulit Indonesia, akan banyak solusi-solusi yang bisa diberikan ya Bu Kristi.
Iya betul Mas Bay. Jadi tidak usah khawatir buat rekan-rekan yang ingin memakai produk ini, khawatir cara masangnya bagaimana, apakah mungkin nanti pemasangannya susah atau tidak. Pemasangannya tetap sama seperti spandek-spandek yang lain. Yang membedakan hanya teknologi dan materialnya saja.
Oke, berarti untuk semacam aksesorisnya kurang lebih sama ya Bu ya?
Ya.
Oke. Berarti nanti kita tetap mungkin main screw, paku segala macam gitu atau gimana?
Iya, kita tetap pakai screw. Screw-nya bisa pakai screw yang ada di sini. Hanya yang mandatory harus dipakai itu washer-nya. Jadi kita ada seperti washer. Sama mungkin seperti produk tetangga kalau kita ngomong kata itu kan kita nggak bisa langsung screw kan? Ada washer-nya lah. Itu kita juga pakai hal yang sama. Tapi washer-nya nggak bisa pakai tetangga ya. Washer-nya harus pakai bawaan Ondulit gitu.
Oke.
Sorry, I just understand a little bit. I will show later all the fixation, the washer and gasket. How does it?
Yes, that's the question, Valerio. So if we need accessories like a screw or some of the things from the Ondulit like gasket, how is Ondulit can provide us?
Yeah, sure. I say let me go on with the presentation because in the let's say in the end we also see all these details. let me have a very quick recap and then I will go straight to this point, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so here it's a very, very quick recap, but important that, according to me, to stress which are the characteristics. So we have a very high resistance to corrosion, close to the sea or corrosive environment. We have the thermal comfort, which works a lot, both for housing or industrial of workers, any kind of building. The soundproofing, so the ability of insulate below from external sound of rain. Then we have another characteristic, which I will go very brief on this one. Like the product is a very limited thermal expansion, like the steel. Even if there is aluminum below, it doesn't behave, because we're talking about foil, it behaves like steel. So we worked in countries like Libya, Morocco, where the thermal excursion between day and night is a lot, which we're talking about more than 40 degrees of thermal differences, and the product behaves perfectly. Important point also is the mechanical strength of the product, because the product has a very high mechanical resistance. We're talking about almost 200 kilo clearly it changes according to the thickness of the steel. Let's say with 0.5 steel, we are talking about 200 kilo in 182 meters, which I will go back to it. It means also the possibility to design a lighter and less expensive secondary structure. Last point is the versatility, which is related to the question you said before about bending or not. Yes, as you can see from the picture here, it's definitely possible to bend the product and have, let's say, custom projects according to the needs. Now, this is the range, the available range of product. We have 2 trapezoidal profile, which is Coverib 850 and 8 Coverib 1000, where the number relates to the nominal length. The cover is considering the overlapping. Then we have a sinusoidal profile, which is Ondulit as the company, and another profile, which is cover tile, which is the shape similar to shingles, but with multi-layer technology. This is what I want to relate to your question. So, the Ondulit, the technical department that together with Catalogpro clearly works on all the technical aspects of the project. So when we design the roof, we design everything, all the flashing, the fittings, the ridge caps, gutters, whatever. Clearly, it's a possibility, it's a choice to the customer to go with our own flashings or local flashing, because this is again, it's free to the customer to choose. What for us is mandatory, if you want to apply for the warranty, is to use our washers and gaskets, because they are made, maybe here is not too clear, but there is an EPDM gaskets, which is a rubber basically, that goes below the aluminum washer. These seal the sheets, and with this kind of fixation, we can say, okay, for 30 years, you don't have to worry about corrosion, about water leakage inside your building. Then, this is the last part of my presentation. I also would like to discuss briefly about the technical and some price consideration. Ondulit allows to reduce the insulation below the roof. I say reduce because clearly, if you have natural ventilation, if you have the passage of air below the roof, you can even avoid using insulation. But if you need to have a specific temperature, you're using air condition, or you have the needs to refrigerate the air below, you still need insulation. With Ondulit, you can reduce the amount of insulation. You can reduce the energy costs to keep this temperature inside. For example, the cost of the air condition can be reduced among the years. You can simplify the secondary structure because the mechanical property. And also, there's no need of maintenance or any kind of intervention in the roof. This means that price-wise, the product is basically comparable to a full solution of insulation, because all the cost, which is a product that clearly in the beginning has maybe a little slight higher cost, but during the years you definitely feel this gap of difference. As I said, we have 30 years of warranty. Our warranty is a full warranty that basically no other supplier of metal sheets has. It means that The warranty doesn't depend on the location. Basically, I think any of the other manufacturers say that if you're very close to the sea, the warranty has some limitation, like, okay, it's not 30, it's 15 if you are too close and so on. It doesn't happen with our. And we don't need any maintenance. You don't have an annual inspection that basically it's included in almost all the roofing that you can buy worldwide. We just say you put over there, you forget about it, and for 30 years we don't have any problem. Last slide and last point is that among our system, we do have also our own fixation system for photovoltaic modules, which is called EasyFix. I want to stress about this because now photovoltaic is more and more popular worldwide, let's say. And with our system, the same screw that fix the roof, the sheets, is the same screw that fix the anchoring system of the photovoltaic. And it's complementary to the warranty. So if you put with our system photovoltaic, you still have the same warranty. So basically this is my presentation. Terima kasih for hearing me. If now there are any other questions which I didn't mention or any kind of information the public want to know, I am at your
Okay, before we will reading all the question from the participants, maybe Mas Reza have any questions to the Valerio and Bu Christy, because I have so many questions from the Ondulit. Please,
Okay.
Mas Reza.
Yeah, I want to ask you about the fire resistance.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
How
long it will?
We are certified as a European standard, which is different from country to country. In Italy, we are certified BS1 D0, which is a European certification, to say that there's no one of the concerns, especially with sandwich panel, is the dripping inside the building, which we don't have because all the protective layer is on the upper. The bigger bituminous is on the upper part. We don't have structural certification because the sheet doesn't need to have we call the REI in Italy, which is how long the structure resists, which is not related to the roof, is a structural certification. But we have all the European certification for it's not fire resistance, it's fire behavior, because it's not a specific fire resistant product. This is other products.
Oke. Saya mau tanya Bu Christy, kalau misalnya ada kerusakan kayak gitu-gitu kan ini lumayan lama ya Bu ya. Misalnya kira-kira dia bengkok mungkin atau scratch kayak gitu-gitu, dia bisa ngerusak itunya ya, si lapisannya sendiri gitu. Atau kita bisa perbaiki mungkin sebagian part aja gitu.
Kalau untuk kerusakan cuma masalah scratch, sebenarnya scratch mengulangi performa dari material itu sendiri. Jadi performa warna di atas di permukaannya itu hanya sebagai elemen estetis dan menambah untuk masalah thermal resistant dalam arti SRI index kan. Jadi seandainya itu ada scratch ya dia secara garis besar ya tetap akan punya kemampuan yang sama gitu. Jadi nggak apa ya, kalau mau ditacap masih bisa. Terus kalau bengkok ini dalam konteks apa ya?
Mungkin kalau lagi maintenance atau apa gitu, orang nginjak-nginjak ke atas gitu.
Logikanya secara teknis ya, ini nggak akan mudah bengkok karena tebalnya yang paling tipis dari Ondulit ini adalah 2,5 mili. Ya, jadi dengan ketebalan 2,5 mili itu saya nggak yakin diinjek Mas Bayu pun bengkok gitu. Karena mungkin kalau kita bandingin dengan spandek yang lain ya, mungkin spandek yang lain ada di sini itu kan rata-rata ketebalannya paling banter 0,6 lah.
Betul.
Beberapa 0,8 ya. 0,8 aja saya Catalogpro punya produk yang kita coba pakai 0,8 aja kan orang berdiri nggak bengkok gitu. Karena ada profilnya kan, ya kan nggak flat juga ya. Apalagi ini yang ketebalannya 2,5 mili sih. Jadi untuk cara bengkok saya optimis itu tidak akan terjadi.
Oke. Nah, melanjuti pertanyaan Mas Reza, Bu Christy gitu. Jadi maybe Valerio, you can answer this too. I will asking about how can Ondulit can support maximal loading load for the how many kilograms and what is recommend distance frames to maximum can hold the load in the Ondulit.
Sure. Clearly, it is related to the steel thickness because again, in our range we have different steel thickness. The easiest way, if you go on Catalogpro website, you can download the technical sheets of the product because, of course, different profile and different thickness have different behavior. Consider that Covery Bait 50 with 0.5 steel. As I said during the presentation, is about 200 kilo, a little bit less, with almost 2 meter span, which is quite a lot if you compare to a standard steel sheet. Which means, again, as I said during the presentation, if we arrived, let's say, in the designing part of the building, so when the engineering are still considering the structure, we can cooperate with the customer just to suggest, for example, to remove part of the secondary structure, which is also make all the building lighter and the cost less.
Oke. Mungkin dari Bu Kristi, Bu, ada saran nggak sih, Bu, jarak antara rangka gitu ya? Karena untuk memaksimalkan menahan beban di
Ini
atasnya itu.
sebenarnya kan beban utama itu kan ada di struktur ya. Jadi terus masalah struktur terhadap penutup atap itu di Indonesia tuh sebenarnya ada sedikit perbedaan dengan luar negeri, dengan Australia lah paling dekat ya misalnya. Jadi kalau di Indonesia itu menganggap bahwa beban si penutup atap sendiri itu tuh sebagai beban untuk struktur. Kalau di Indonesia nih. Jadi struktur di bawahnya itu dianggap menahan beban si penutup atap. Tapi kalau kita berbicara dengan Australian Standard atau mungkin dengan Italian Standard, si penutup atap tersebut itu bukan beban untuk struktur karena penutup atap itu bisa punya kemampuan untuk menahan dirinya sendiri. Bearing, jadi self bearing lah ya. Untuk ini kalau kita menggunakan standar Indonesia biasanya itu kan jarak reng ya, kita ngomong jarak reng. Jarak reng tuh kalau kita misalnya masang pakai bitumen itu kan 30 atau mungkin genteng biasa 40 gitu. Kalau spandek mungkin biasanya sekitar 60 atau 80. Untuk ondulit itu kita bisa sampai 1,5 meter jarak rengnya. Kita masih mampu untuk jarak 1,2 sampai 1,5 meter. Dengan begitu kita bisa mengoptimasi pemakaian reng tersebut. Karena apa? Karena yang seperti tadi Valerio ceritakan, ondulit itu kan punya mechanical strength. Jadi dia punya kemampuan untuk menahan dirinya sendiri. Jadi nggak bengkok. Apa kalau bahasa awamnya saya bilang dia tuh kaku. Ya kan? Kaku, dia punya kemampuan untuk menahan kekakuannya itu sendiri. Jadi dia tidak perlu additional support. Makanya jarak rengnya bisa lebih besar. Gitu.
Oke, itu dari sisi menahan beban, Bu. Nah, when we discuss about the roofings, also we will also be connect with the wind powers to installations.
Yes.
Yeah. How is the solution from the ondulit to durable about the wind powers?
Sorry Mas Bay. About the wind resistance. Actually, the wind resistance calculation is not for the roofing, but the wind resistance calculation basically for the structure. So, jadi yang menahan gempa, kita ngomong gempa nih ya. Pertama adalah struktur di bawahnya, fondasi. Kedua,
consider that on the technical sheets you find two information. One is related clearly to the we call. I know that in Indonesia it sounds a little bit strange, but you call snow overload because in Europe we just verify the amount of kilos for let's say punctual related to snow. But you can also find in the technical sheet the uplift wind resistance, which is how the product has been tested to the extraction.
Jadi maksudnya kalau ada angin dia bisa terangkat atau tidak gitu. Tapi kalau untuk dalam penghitungan struktur itu kan mestinya perhitungan terhadap ketahanan angin itu dimasukkan ke dalam strukturnya, bukan dalam penutup atap. Jadi kalau untuk ondulit dia ada standarnya untuk menahan, misalnya kalau itu di Eropa kemampuan dia untuk menahan salju di atasnya. Jadi kan ya kan, jadi kalau kita yang masalah salju itu anggap aja bisa diganti dengan orang yang jalan di atasnya gitu. Kalau untuk masalah angin itu lebih ke arah sampai angin berapa itu dia tidak akan terangkat. Tapi kita di Indonesia kalau kita ngomong masalah struktur itu nggak bisa dianggap sesuai standar perhitungan angin gitu. Jadi SMI-nya untuk angin kan kalau nggak salah 38 sampai 40 kan. Tapi 38 sampai 40 itu masuk di perhitungan struktur. Kilonewton maksudnya.
Okay, and consider also that one of the specifications I show you, the one of Miami-Dade County, was specifically related to tropical storm and the resistance with the extraction of wind. This is why we worked in, for example, the Central America, Puerto Rico, Cuba, where there are storms and so on. So it behaves very well also in this kind of situation.
Okay, and I always curious about the applications these products in Indonesia. So when first Ondulit come to Indonesia, it is Ondulit have maybe like educate the applicator or into from the Catalogpro shares about how is install the products, or from the you Valerio or Ondulit teams come to Indonesia to share about the systems to the applicator in Indonesia.
Sure. Can I? Shall I go, Christy, on your reply? I can just reply, no problem. Consider
Maybe for myself first, Valerio. Basically, since Ondulit is quite new in Indonesia and we just signed agreement about become Ondulit distributor in Indonesia maybe last year, June 2023. And after that, we do some market education. And if you're asking about the certification for the applicator, I'm not starting yet, but I can do that. I can do that in the future. But for the technical support for Ondulit, I think local people in Indonesia is not really it's common. I mean, the how to install Ondulit, as I told you before, is same with another spandek. So no need special treatment or special pelatihan lah ya for the applicator. So, but if there is some project or maybe someday if we have a big project that need a special quality checkup from the Ondulit, it will be the technical solution for us.
Absolutely. This is what we also did in other countries. Let's say what is good of the sheets is that it behaves as a standard sheet. So installation wise, it's no different from a standard pierced profile. But if there are projects where it's required the supervision for, say, important project, we do have also technical staff who can clearly together with Catalogpro. So it's something that we can discuss together, but we can provide the supervision, even if, again, most of the time it's just the starting of the project, because installation wise, Catalogpro is more than capable to do it by themselves.
Okay, thank you Valerio. Mas Reza, mungkin ada yang mau ditambahkan kembali?
Cukup Mas, udah jelas.
Okay, thank you Mas Reza, and this is the last question from me, Valerio and Bu Christy. When we talk Ondulit, we always discuss about the roofing. How is we know the architects or designer have customized design. How if the architect or designers can use Ondulit for the facade or like secondary skins to their projects? It is still possible for you, since we know when your give presentations, Ondulit have quite have big point from the like acoustical or can prove the have a point to fireproof or the can proof for the wind. It is still possible if Ondulit can want to use in for the like secondary skin or facade.
Sure. As a cladding, basically, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Consider all the tests and property I told you have been tested and certified for roofing, because also the soundproofing, of course, has a point when there is raining, heating the upper part of the roof. Definitely, the product can be used for cladding. We used also some of the references show you at the product for cladding. Clearly, all the main features apply and value more when you're putting as a roof. But most of the structures sometimes have the roof and also the related cladding. So yes, it's absolutely possible to use, no problem.
Okay, thank you Valerio. And for Bu Christy, nah ini seperti biasa di sesi Catalogpro ini kan yang hadir nggak hanya cuma area Jabodetabek atau Pulau Jawa ya Bu ya. Nah ini ada juga nanti ada beberapa pertanyaan yang saya lihat juga ada pertanyaan apakah ini sudah ada di Sumatera atau di kota-kota lain di Indonesia. Itu untuk bisa mensuplai ke daerah-daerah tersebut, apakah sudah bisa dilakukan oleh Catalogpro sendiri?
Untuk proyek-proyek yang kecil, seperti tadi saya sudah sampaikan, saya ada stok di Jakarta. Jadi stok itu hanya berpusat di Jakarta untuk kuantiti yang terbatas. Sedangkan untuk kuantiti yang lebih besar, pasti akan saya melakukan pemesanan dari Itali. Jadi untuk Ondulit ini sendiri sebenarnya kami Catalogpro itu fokus untuk di based on project ya, not based on retail.
Oke.
Jadi, tapi bukan berarti kita 100% tidak menerima retail. Jadi nanti untuk based on project, nanti Ondulit ini akan dihandle oleh sister company dari Catalogpro, yaitu Surya Metal. Sedangkan based on retail itu akan dihandle oleh Catalogpro sendiri beserta dengan jalur distribusinya, karena kita punya roadmap di seluruh Indonesia. Tapi stok tetap tidak disebarkan di seluruh Indonesia, tetap berpusat di Jakarta.
Okay. And then how long lead time when we have a participant not just from Jakarta, Valerio, and we have in another country in Indonesia, and how long lead time when we have requested the Ondulit, if there's any maybe like a custom profile or maybe like just a regular size from the Ondulit.
Sorry, what was the question? If the customer from other parts of Indonesia?
Yeah, how long the lead times when we requested the Ondulit from Italy?
Okay, production-wise, the product is clearly depends by the size of the project, but usually in 3 weeks we are able to produce almost everything. Delivery time is about 5 weeks usually, if we're talking about the vessel to come and have the product on the ground. This is why we keep a stock of the product together with Catalogpro, so Catalogpro has his own stock. If the customer has urgent need, clearly for let's say small project, if you're talking about 5,000, 6,000 square meter or more, yes, to import from Italy. But for a small project, we have a local stock. Otherwise, we have to consider, I think, about at least 2 months from the ordering phase to have the product on the ground in Indonesia.
Oke, jadi ya mungkin referensi sekitar 3 bulan ya Bu ya, kalau misalnya memang waktu yang dibutuhkan ya Bu.
Ya sekitar 3 bulan. Karena waktu produksi itu 1 bulan, shipment 1 bulan, anggap aja ya 1 bulan ya. Nah setelah proses shipment itu kan kita ada proses ya custom clearance dan sebagainya. Dan sebelum kita mulai produksi ada proses seperti administrasi dan sebagainya. Jadi dalam sekitar 3 bulan.
Oke, baik. Terima kasih Bu Kristi, Valerio. Terima kasih sudah sharing tentang Ondulit, dan Mas Reza, terima kasih membantu kita selalu di sesi Product of the Week gitu ya. And we will start the next segment. We already have many questions from the participant, and Reza will read all the questions, and maybe Valeria and Bu Kristi can answer all the questions from the participant. Okay, please, Reza.
Okay, thank you, Bayu and Valerio. Okay, thank you, Bayu and Valerio and Bu Kristi. There's many questions in the chat box, so I will start the first question. From the first question, we have question from Bu Apnisa Putri. There is 4 questions about the Ondulit. And the first question is it necessary to put installation in it? Consider the heat and the tropical condition here in Indonesia quite high. Is it necessary or not to put the installation in it? Consider the heat and tropical condition.
Again, this is very much related to the destination of the building of what we are doing. If we are talking about, for example, warehouses, factory, where you can have natural ventilation, you can even avoid using insulation. If you're talking about residential offices or other kind of structure, yes, you still need to put some insulation, especially if you want to control the temperature inside. You can use less insulation than the standard one that you use with the standard metal sheet. So you can definitely use less insulation, but you still need to have some insulation if you need to control the temperature inside.
Mungkin saya tambahkan ya, Mbak.
Silakan, Kristi.
Insulasi dibutuhkan atau tidak? Pada dasarnya Ondulit itu sudah mempunyai kemampuan sebagai insulasi. Tadi mungkin Valerio, did you about the presentation have you explain about how much degree that we can reduce with Ondulit?
I just wrote it was I talk about thermal transmittance and I write about say from 6 to 8 degrees. This is about the difference.
Yes. Jadi perbedaannya kita bisa reduce sekitar 4 sampai 6 derajat dan comparisonnya untuk kemampuan insulasinya itu setara dengan PU 4 cm. PU 4 cm. Kalau kita ngomong masalah project-project untuk misalnya warehouse atau mungkin hanya factory gitu, biasanya kita pakai insulasi itu hanya bubble lah, maksimal 8 mili. Kadang-kadang malah ada yang 4. Cuman bubble sama aluminium foil, bubble aluminium foil.
Betul.
Nggak sampai PU 4 cm kan? Dengan capacity dia yang bisa setara dengan PU 4 cm, saya rasa itu nggak perlu tambah insulasi lagi. Tapi akan berbeda kasusnya apabila misalnya Ondulit itu dipasang di dalam misalnya cold storage. Untuk cold storage, cold storage itu kan butuh sesuatu yang udara di dalamnya itu tetap kan stabil kan. Jadi tidak boleh ada perubahan suhu. Jadi untuk mempertahankan suhu di dalamnya mau nggak mau ya harus tambah insulasi. Apakah sudah cukup jelas?
Ya, semoga cukup menjawab, Bu Putri. Dan we have another question from Bu Putri. For the second question, how about the performance material regarding the corrosion and the color warranty?
Mungkin itu tadi sebenarnya sudah dijelaskan ya, tapi in English ya. Tadi Valerio sudah jelaskan. Mungkin karena mungkin in English mungkin kurang begitu dipahami. Saya mungkin akan menjelaskan dalam bahasa Indonesia. Untuk masalah ketahanan terhadap korosi, seperti tadi Valerio sudah jelaskan, kita punya hasil tes, yaitu salt spray test. Dari salt spray test itu memberikan hasil bahwa ketahanan korosi kita tuh adalah 4.000 jam. 4.000 jam, berarti 4.000 dibagi satu hari ada 24 jam, 4.000 dibagi 24, ya kira-kira 4 bulan hampir lah ya. Jadi lebih kali ya. Jadi salt spray test itu secara teknisnya adalah satu material itu disiram dengan air garam ya. Air garam itu dalam konteks itu adalah setara dengan air laut kan. Nah, setelah 4.000 jam maka muncullah tanda-tanda korosi di material Ondulit. 4.000 jam tadi setara 166,6 hari. Oke, berarti 166,6 berarti bagi 30 ya 4 bulanan ya.
Betul.
Itu disiram terus-menerus non-stop baru akan mengalami tanda-tanda korosi itu setelah 4.000 jam. Jadi itu ketahanannya terhadap korosi. Jadi saya rasa kecuali kita bikin rumpon di dalam laut, saya rasa nggak mungkin kan akan terjadi 4.000 jam itu akan akal kan. Nah itu. Terus kedua untuk masalah color warranty yang namanya color ya semuanya itu kan artificial, kita tidak ada warranty untuk color karena color itu akan mengalami discoloration seiring dengan usia. Tapi discoloration itu tidak seperti tadi pertanyaannya Mas Bayu atau Mas Reza, kalau scratch gimana? Itu tidak mengurangi performa dari Ondulit.
Okay, thank you, Bu Kristi. And the third question, meaning Ondulit provide the sheet metal and tata logam will forming into tata logam existing profiles?
No, basically the relationship between Ondulit Italiana and Tata Logam is not Tata Logam become the raw former of Ondulit right now. Tata Logam is our official business partner and we are the distributor for Indonesia. So the profile is finished good from Italy and Tata Logam bring it to Indonesia right now. And maybe someday Tata Logam will join with Ondulit to have a factory here.
Okay, we hope so. Okay, that's the last question from Bu Putri. Semoga cukup menjawab.
Jadi halaman BNews ini berisi tentang informasi-informasi terupdate dari setiap brand-brand yang sudah ada di dalam Catalogpro. Jadi ini seperti newsfeed kalau ada di Facebook atau di LinkedIn gitu ya. Jadi bisa dilihat brand-brand atau manufaktur atau produk-produk yang sudah share informasi-informasi terupdate-nya, dan tidak hanya itu, kita juga menginformasikan program-program Catalogpro atau mungkin teman-teman asosiasi institusi yang sudah mempunyai halaman di Catalogpro. Dan seperti yang saya sampaikan di depan, bahwa fungsi utama Catalogpro di sini untuk membantu Bapak Ibu dan teman-teman sekalian. Contoh misalnya kita ingin mengetahui varian produk arsitek interior. Nah, ini adalah bagian dari subkategori dari produk arsitek interior. Misalnya kita lagi butuh kategori atap metal. Nah, di sini nanti akan terkumpul berbagai macam varian brand-brand di kategori atap metal gitu ya. Dan kita bisa cari sesuai dengan kebutuhan kita dan kita bisa ambil data spesifikasinya. Jadi tidak hanya kita window shopping di Catalogpro, tapi di sini juga bisa jadi alat kerja kita untuk membuat dokumen rekomendasian. Dan di setiap halaman brand page kita sudah menstandarisasi tampilannya, jadi teman-teman atau Bapak Ibu sudah tidak bingung lagi untuk mencari informasinya. Jadi di setiap halaman brand page itu akan diketahui brand ini dari mana, PIC-nya siapa yang bisa kita hubungi, dan yang terpenting adalah beberapa informasi mengenai varian produknya. Dan karena banyaknya permintaan dari user-user Catalogpro, kapan Catalogpro tidak hanya memberikan informasi tentang spesifikasi produk material, tapi juga bisa sampai dengan checkout gitu ya, sampai dengan membeli beberapa material tersebut. Akhirnya kita membuat satu feature e-commerce. Jadi di sini ada feature promo namanya. Dan feature promo ini sudah ada beberapa produk atau brand yang sudah memperjualbelikan produknya di dalam Catalogpro. Jadi ini adalah bagian yang sudah Bapak Ibu dan teman-teman bisa langsung mendapatkan dan membeli material atau produk tersebut. Mungkin untuk feature ini akan lebih dijelaskan oleh rekan saya, Mas Prima. Silakan Mas Prima.
Ya, terima kasih Mas Bayu. Selamat siang Bapak Ibu dan rekan-rekan semua. Benar yang diinformasikan oleh Mas Bayu, di mana ketika Bapak Ibu memanfaatkan Catalogpro sebagai informasi, sekarang waktunya Catalogpro Bapak Ibu bisa berbelanja secara langsung hanya di Catalogpro. Saya izin share screen Bapak Ibu. Baik, ini halaman depan Catalogpro Bapak Ibu. Setelah Bapak Ibu sign in menggunakan email aktif, maka akan mendapatkan fitur promo, review, dan order list. Apa itu promo? Di sini fitur promo ini Bapak Ibu bisa mendapatkan harga secara langsung, tentunya promo ini langsung dari prinsipalnya masing-masing, sehingga apabila Bapak Ibu menyesuaikan sesuai dengan kebutuhan proyeknya, maka Bapak Ibu bisa mendapatkan material building di dalam Catalogpro ini secara promo. Tentunya sangat mudah Bapak Ibu. Saya akan mencontohkan apabila kita membutuhkan salah satu produk. Setelah itu Bapak Ibu melihat informasi promo beserta harga. Setelah itu akan klik tombol button beli dan akan melanjutkan proses pengisian alamat serta checkout, sehingga barang Bapak Ibu yang Bapak Ibu beli akan langsung terkirim oleh prinsipal masing-masing. Tentunya kualitas dan harga Bapak Ibu tidak perlu ragu karena Catalogpro sudah memastikan bahwa produk tersebut langsung dari prinsipalnya masing-masing. Tidak aja promo Bapak Ibu, selain promo, kita ada fitur review, di mana fitur ini sangat disukai oleh kontraktor developer. Kenapa? Karena Bapak Ibu bisa langsung merequest segala kebutuhan dari atap hingga lantai. Tentunya sangat mudah. Kami sudah menyediakan fitur ini, request for quotation. Tinggal isi tujuan pengiriman proyeknya dimanapun proyek Bapak Ibu, alamat, setelah itu catatan, dan mengisi brand. Apabila kita membutuhkan atap, kita bisa mengisi Ondulit Italiana. Dan apabila kita mau lantai, saya contohkan Bapak Ibu bisa mengisi stone floor, seperti itu saya contohkan. Apabila juga membutuhkan jendela, Bapak Ibu bisa mengisi juga. Kita sudah ada Hunter 12 window fashion, dan Bapak Ibu tinggal submit review, sehingga kebutuhan Bapak Ibu dimanapun dan kapanpun kami akan penuhi untuk material building. Itu saja Mas Bayu yang perlu saya informasikan. Tetapi tidak hanya fitur promo dan review, kita sudah memvalidasi fitur WhatsApp di sebelah kanan. Bapak Ibu akan klik WhatsApp tersebut dan terhubung dengan tim Catalogpro, sehingga kita bisa discuss secara intens untuk memenuhi kebutuhan material building Bapak Ibu di dalam satu proyek. Jadi ada 3 cara untuk merequest building material, bisa lewat WhatsApp di Catalogpro 0822 001678 atau belanja langsung produk tentunya dengan promo di catalogpro.co.id/promo atau minta penawaran harga dengan fitur review di catalogpro.co.id/review. Ingat promo, ingat Catalogpro.
GoPro,
Catalogpro. Oke,
terima kasih.
terima kasih.
Thank you very much.
Bapak Ibu
Grazie
semua.
mille, Valerio.
Grazie a
Thank
voi.
you, Valerio. Yes. Dan Bu Kristi, terima kasih. Dan juga Mas Reza, terima kasih yang sudah mengulas mengenai produk dari Ondulit. Dan juga untuk Bapak Ibu dan rekan-rekan, kami tunggu kehadiran Bapak Ibu dan rekan-rekan di Produk Ondulit berikutnya. Kita akan hadir kembali dengan produk CWS, dengan produk CWS 100 yang akan kita bahas. Oke, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat sore.